Welcome back to WTRP.
Oh my goodness.
Sav's not here. This is going to be a wild day.
It is.
We're going to just say things.
Yep.
No one's here to stop us.
Nope.
It's going to be great.
It's the first time we've ever done this.
We haven't done this before?
No, not as in a podcast. Right? Not in a podcast where no one is here to rein us in when we go off on our rabbit trails. This has never happened. So this can be an experiment. Like
All
first
right.
time.
Well, let's do this. Just as you guys know, for a podcast, there's always people that are producing the said podcast. Dan is our producer. So Dan, when we hit about 45 minutes, can you just wave your hand at us?
Yep.
That'd be great, because that's when we're going to shut up. We're trying to keep it to 45.
Yeah.
So.
Yeah.
All right. Well, hey guys, it's Holy Week, and we just got done talking about Palm Sunday. I preached a message on Sunday called The Unexpected King. And the thing about this whole story, which is just awesome, is there's so many ways to take this story. So many different things we can go to. What I felt that we needed to talk about Sunday was specifically how the people who were welcoming Jesus into Jerusalem as he was coming in, the triumphal entry story in it's Matthew 21, how they were saying and doing all of the right things. Yeah. But they really had no idea who Jesus really was.
Right.
They wanted the king, they wanted the warrior, they wanted the war general, and I think it's something that it affects the church now, because if we don't know who Jesus is, like truly know who he is, we do the exact same thing.
Right.
We're like, yes, I'm going to worship you, I'm going to give you all these things, I'm going to pour my life out as long as I get exactly what I want.
Exactly, yeah.
There's actually a podcast that just dropped. Do you know who Bryce Crawford is?
I just heard about this. Savannah just told me about this podcast. I haven't watched it, but I heard about it.
Yeah. So our homie, Marcus McFarlane,
mm-hmm.
Marcus and Bryce are very good friends. Marcus was actually in Bryce's wedding.
Yeah, I think I knew that.
Pretty
That's
cool. But Bryce Crawford did an interview with the probably most famous prosperity preacher of our time, old Kenneth Copeland. Mm-hmm. COVID-19, I blew you away. That whole thing. If you've not seen that video, I need you to look up Kenneth Copeland COVID. Yeah. The remixes are actually my favorite.
Yeah. Josh's too.
Yeah. Me and Josh had a great time with those.
Sure that you did.
Why was I talking about that? Oh, prosperity.
Yes.
Yeah. So if we don't know who Jesus is, we don't know why he came, we're not studying the word, we don't become disciples and students of Jesus. And I remember several years ago, this was your soapbox, being a disciple of Jesus. And you asked a question that really, this is probably 4 years ago now, that made me think. You said, do you have a favorite parable of Jesus? Mm-hmm. And I had to step back for a minute and go, man, do I have a favorite parable of Jesus? Yeah. Like, I know them, but have I really become a learner? Right. A student of his, the way, not just what he said, but the way he lived. Mm-hmm. I remember this one thing I did in high school. I've talked about this before, but I wanted to know the character of Jesus. Mm-hmm. So I went through the book of Matthew on my old NLT Student Edition Bible. And everywhere that I found something that displayed the character of Jesus, I would circle it. Yeah. And I would just write humble, kind, sarcastic. I wrote another word in there that I'm not sure is good for the podcast, so I'm going to leave that out. But it's my Bible, so it's fine.
I know what the word was.
Yeah, it's still hilarious. I love it when I go back to that Bible and I find it. But it's true, He was quick. He was smart. Mm-hmm. And he could beat the Pharisees at their own game just logically. Yeah. He would turn their logic against them, and I love that. So do we really know Jesus? Yeah. And not just the Americanized Western version of Jesus. Yeah. And because if not, we will do exactly what these people did. Right. Right. We give him adoration and we praise, and we might even shed a tear, and we tithe and we serve, and we can do all the Christian things without ever really knowing him. Yes. And that's, I think, a lot of the reason the church is in the state it's in today in America.
For sure. I think that it's about knowing Jesus and his kingdom. Like we were talking about before this podcast, the people welcoming him into the city, to really understand the weight of that whole entire situation, we have to understand the context that they were in. Because a lot of us, I think when it gets to Palm Sunday, we're all like, oh, we would never turn against him. We would never be like that crowd welcoming him on Sunday and then calling for his crucifixion on Friday. We would never do that. We would just follow him the whole time. Mm-hmm. And it's funny, you mentioned knowing him. I think a lot of the American church gets used to him almost like a big brother, and we forget how counterintuitive and opposite to our human nature that his words and his kingdom really are.
Yeah. Yeah.
And in that setting, how different it was to hear Jesus say things like love your enemy, or, you know, if someone slaps your face, like turn the other cheek, or if someone makes you carry something 1 mile, go with him 2, like all of these things. And so I think that understanding just the setting of what was happening on Palm Sunday, who was there, what was going on, I think that will help us to know Jesus better. And I think that this is why being a student of Jesus is so important. Being a student of Jesus, of his kingdom, of the context, the culture, everything that was happening in the first century will help us to understand what was really going on that day.
I mean, I think this is overall just why theology is important in itself, right? Theology has become a secondary issue in the church. And that's a problem. For sure. It's why things like dispensationalism could run rampant in the church, because it's all about what I get out of this, right? Yes. And I mean, so we look at theology, look specifically at eschatology. When we don't shape our worldview through our eschatology, it messes everything up. Yes, it does. Because dispensationalism says I can just sit here and live in my own little world and live a quiet life and never really bother anybody and just do me and my devotions, and one day I'll be raptured and this whole thing will be over. Yeah. Yes. And that is not the narrative of the scripture. Right. I mean, from the very beginning. Yes. It's not there. Right. So understanding, like studying theology is important, not just for pastors, not just for people who work at a church. Every Christian should have a desire to grow in their theology. Yeah. Theology is simply, it is knowing God. It's the study of God. Yes. So do we know theology? Do we study theology? And most people do not study theology. I think this goes with what you were saying on Sunday, honestly, because you were talking about the kingdom and how it's not just like this kingdom that we're waiting for. We're going to go to the kingdom one day when we die. The kingdom is right now, and we're supposed to be participating in it. Specifically, like you just talked about eschatology. I'm trying to not go too deep into that topic right now, but I love it. It matters for Palm Sunday even. It does. Right? Because they were waiting for a certain type of kingdom, and it's why they couldn't see the kingdom right in front of them, which is what the church does today, right? Literally, the kingdom is all around us. The kingdom is being expressed out of us and through the body of Christ today, everywhere. And people miss it because they're waiting for a different sort of kingdom that they get to go to when they die. Yep. Not saying we are not going to be with Jesus when we die. We are. But the point is, as you know, I love to say, the kingdom of God is at hand right now. Right here. Right. It's both now and not yet. Yes. Which I think, isn't that the way N.T. Wright says it? Who coined that phrase? Already not yet? Are you talking about? It's big and surprised by hope, isn't it? It's one of his writings. He goes big on that. Already, but not yet. Or so, I forget the way he phrases it, but one of his books in particular, I remember. Inaugurated Eschatology is what? Yeah. 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 I mean, he goes big on that in almost all of his books that I know of. Yeah, true. If you never read N.T. Wright, you need to go read N.T. Wright. Yes. He's still alive, by the way, so we're holding on to a good one. For real. For real. That's one of my favorite scholars of all time. Yeah. But yeah, anyway, so eschatology is important. Studying theology is important, and this matters for both Palm Sunday in the first century and also for today. I think what's cool, too, in this story, and I talked about this a little bit Sunday, is the disciples. John thought it was important enough to even write that they did not understand what was going on. Mm-hmm. And I think that is just an incredible little nugget that is left in the Word. Yeah. That they were watching all this happen. Because up until this time, Jesus had never publicly come out and said, I am the Messiah. Right. As a matter of fact, he did miracles, and he said, don't tell anybody. Exactly, yeah. He ran from crowds. So this was the first time that we ever find Jesus intentionally walking into a crowd or riding into a crowd with people adoring him. Yeah, and not telling them to be quiet. Right. So imagine the disciples who have walked with Jesus for 3 years, and this is what's all unfolding. Yeah. Can we talk about the reason why they're so confused? And how crazy the message of Jesus actually is, and how different he sounded in that context. Mm-hmm. We were talking before the podcast about just the brutality of the first century. Yeah. Of things like the gladiatorial games, like most people have seen the movies, right? So that's going on all the time. And it's not just gladiatorial games. They would execute people in bizarre ways for entertainment purposes. And they have to, have this flow of bodies for these games. And where are these bodies coming from? Well, they're coming from, enemies of the state,
But anybody who rose up to try to get the Romans to change or to just resist Roman power could potentially be going to these gladiatorial games, or they could go to, we were just talking about the theaters everywhere.
Yeah.
That when they were reenacting all these ancient myths where someone would die, they would save a person to actually die on stage to make it more dramatic. And so, you know, seeing regular crucifixions lining the roads, like, I try to imagine, like, what would I feel like if this oppressive government was oppressing us here in Augusta? We saw crucifixions lining Washington Road. Like, how would we feel? That was an everyday thing for them. And so to hear Jesus preach a sermon like the Sermon on the Mount, to hear him say things like, I want you to love your enemies.
Yeah.
I want you to, you know, like I just said a minute ago, if someone asks you to carry something 1 mile, to go with them 2. Like, he's saying this to the Jewish people. And so, of course, the apostles are confused.
Yeah.
Are you, like, Jesus, are you speaking in parables again? Like, what do you mean? You really want me to actually love my enemy?
Yeah.
And so, again, the context, studying theology and studying the cultural context gives Holy Week and Palm Sunday so much more weight because it's like, how different is Jesus? Why would anyone even follow him?
You ever think about, and this is not a scriptural thing, I'm off script completely.
It's totally fine.
The disciples being the age that they were.
Oh, bro.
So we know that they were teenagers. It was before they could be completely desensitized to all of this. Do you ever think that maybe that's why Jesus picked the teenagers?
That they were
young enough in heart and naive enough
probably
to believe there was a better way. Yeah. Because think about it, if you're raised in a culture where that kind of thing is normal, by the time you get our age, it's another person died.
Yeah.
Okay, moving on.
Yeah, probably so, because you know how he highlights kids and children all the time. Especially like the Apostle John, they say was very young when he first started following Jesus. I mean, he lived, we know, up into the 90s AD, so he had to be really young following Jesus. So that, I mean, if I had to guess, I would say, that's probably why. Because they're not completely formed yet. They're still in that formative stage or phase. Which, again, is why kids ministry, youth ministry is so vital. Yes. That we do this. And I love, I'm excited for the future of our kids ministry here at the church and what's happening here. But like, you know, my wife and I got a chance to serve in kids a few weeks ago, and just the material alone that we're teaching these kids. And I was able to sit back. And one of the questions that the material prompted me to ask was, what does this story reveal to you about God? And I got to listen to a bunch of third to fifth graders tell me the attributes of God they were seeing in the story. That's so wonderful. Like, that is such an incredible thing. You know what I'm saying? So it's like these ministries are not secondary ministries of the church. Right. Like, we are literally forming the next generation of the church right now. Yes. They're the ones that will take this from us. Yeah. They're the ones who have the most exposure to non-believers. They have way more than I do. Yes. I work in a church office. You know what I mean? Yeah, like, same. I go to a coffee shop, and that's about the most exposure I get these days, you know? Yeah. So it's this forming these worldviews, and Jesus was able to do that with a bunch of teenage boys and go, let me help you shape this new radical worldview. Yeah. And everything's been twisted, it's been contorted. You've got the Pharisees and Sadducees that are using scripture for their gain, and they're living and Jesus comes in with this total counter narrative. And he chooses young boys to do it with. Yes. And I love that. Yes. I love that. It is a complete counter narrative, because in their heads, their narrative is a ruler will come from Zion and will reestablish Israel as the leader of all nations, you know? And Jesus is like, no, you must all be like little children, right? The weakest and you know, become a slave is what he says, and a servant. And so, I think this also speaks to Easter, right? We were talking before the podcast about how counterintuitive this is, like Jesus' teachings in that time period, and how I don't know what I would do. I try to imagine how I would react if I was in that situation and in that time period, and I just don't know if I could believe everything he was saying unless something happened to seal and validate everything that Jesus had said. Yeah. And I think this is why, like, his brother for instance, both of his brothers,
Mhm.
Jude and James, I think this sort of speaks to why they didn't believe him the whole time until after the resurrection. The resurrection is the thing that happens that, okay, we can't actually deny anything that Jesus said or did. We can't
Mhm.
deny everything he said and everything he taught. He is the ultimate truth. He is the most valid thing ever in history.
Yep.
It had to be the resurrection. This is again why the resurrection's true.
Yeah.
It's the only thing that can explain the explosion of Christianity
Right.
in the Roman Empire.
Yeah.
You know?
In case you're wondering when I'm preaching on Sunday, by the way, everybody.
Sorry. I will not go.
No,
deeper into
I
that.
love it. I love it. I love Easter. I love this whole time of year.
Yeah,
This is the best.
it is. It's
Yeah.
what'd you call it Sunday? The Super Bowl of
It's
Christianity?
pretty much the Christian Super Bowl.
Yeah.
The question is what we do with it.
I know, right?
Because we can
Yes.
water it down and make it something that's not what it is. And Hosanna, Hosanna all we want with no
Mhm.
understanding of Jesus, or we can do this the right way.
Yeah.
So shout out American Church. Anyway, we'll keep going in the text here. Where are we at?
Bro, I don't know. We've talked about but we're doing this without a moderator. I think we're doing okay so far.
I think so.
Yeah,
Yeah.
it's fine.
They haven't walked out with the cameras yet.
Yeah.
So
It's all right.
if you are listening to this on podcast, it is on YouTube now, by the way. We
Yep.
have a video version.
Yep.
If you want to see our beautiful faces.
Yeah.
All right, Pontius Pilate. Let's go there.
Oh my gosh.
While we were talking about this before, PB came in with some awesome Pontius Pilate stuff.
Yes.
So if you just want to go.
Well, I might. Okay, correct me if I'm wrong, because you looked up to make sure I was right. You looked up the historical stuff about him, because this is coming off the top of my head right now. So this Pontius Pilate was very brutal, and he was known to be brutal. We know this
Mhm.
from sources outside of the Bible. We know this from like Josephus. I can't remember. Did we say Philo of Alexandria also?
Yeah, those are the two. Those are the two big ones that wrote about him.
So they both wrote about him.
Mhm.
These are,
It is in the scriptures too. It's Luke 13:1.
Yes.
It's I have it pulled up right here. Pilate had mixed the blood of the Galileans with their sacrifices,
yes.
which then later Josephus comes in and he clarifies that the blood that he actually mixed with the Galilean blood that he mixed with was blood that they took from the Galileans who were in the temple offering sacrifices when Pontius Pilate ordered his men to go in and massacre them.
That is so brutal.
He took their blood, mixed it with the blood for the sacrifices.
That is horrific.
Yeah.
So that's during Jesus' ministry too. That's not like at the time of Palm
Yeah.
Sunday. This
Mhm.
is like while Jesus is ministering. And we also know,
Look at the weight of that.
yeah, just that is
Even
horrifying
like,
enough.
imagine being the disciples.
Yeah.
Right? And you know this happened.
Yes.
And then now you're looking at the Lord that you followed,
Yes.
your rabbi,
Mm-hmm.
and he is left up for judgment by that man.
How terrifying.
What a wild few days for the disciples.
Yeah. I mean, really anybody participating in this parade for
Yeah.
Jesus entering the city on Palm Sunday,
Yeah.
knowing that this man is in the city. The other things that have happened that we know about from Josephus is, I know that Pilate took money from the temple and created a Roman aqueduct with it.
Yeah.
That caused a riot from the Jewish people, or an almost riot. I can't remember if it was a full riot or if they were planning an uprising. And Pilate ordered his soldiers to dress in normal clothes and to go mingle in the crowd.
So you're mixing two stories.
Am I mixing two stories?
So the aqueduct is the one that they were planning a riot,
Okay.
and it never happened.
Okay.
The other one was the Samaritan massacre, where that's what you're talking about
Okay.
with the clubs.
Okay.
Yeah.
So with the clubs, they hide the soldiers hide clubs underneath their clothing.
Yeah.
And at his signal, they beat them to death.
Yeah.
So this man is known for brutality,
Yep.
for just being harsh, and
Yep.
any sign of uprising, he's going to squash that.
Yep.
And then knowing that this man is in Jerusalem, all of these followers of Jesus are causing this huge, massive parade for Jesus as he's coming into the city on this donkey. We know there's watchmen at the city gates where he's entering,
Mm-hmm.
Roman soldiers. That was very brave of
Yeah.
these people, very
Yeah.
bold of these people to be yelling that he's their new king. Calling him son of David is essentially saying, you're the Messiah, you're the new king of Israel.
Yeah.
And I mean, how scary is that? How bold is that? How desperate those people must have been to actually go do that.
Yeah.
You know?
Yeah.
It's just,
And think about the emotional, like, roller coaster that all these people were on for those days.
yeah.
They welcome him into the city. He's, they believe that he's going to be this war general, this king is going to take over. So they're doing all this stuff. They're risking their lives to lift up their new king, right?
Mm-hmm.
Within days, he's arrested, he's beaten, and he's put before Pilate.
Yeah.
He's then told, then they're told he's going to be crucified. Then he dies.
Mm-hmm.
So they go from, this is our king, to, well, if he's at the hand of Pilate, this can't be our king.
Right.
To now he's dead. To 3 days later, what happened? You know what I'm saying? But then even the days following that, Jesus wasn't exactly running around starting riots, and
right.
he was with his disciples.
Right.
So then another, was it 50 days later?
Yeah, 40 days later.
40 days later, or before Pentecost?
Yeah.
Was it 40? Okay.
Well, it's 40. Pentecost is 50 days later, so he's
Right.
gone for 10 days.
Right. So okay. So then Pentecost happened. So you have all like this massive chain of events that all go back to back to back to back to back to back. And one of the things I felt, even for our church, is we do need to take a more serious look at the Christian calendar.
Yes.
And in 2027, I've got a whole plan for this, by the way.
Oh, I'm so
wink,
excited.
wink, church. It is going to be like, because this is an entire season of expectation.
Yes.
That's why Lent is so important.
Yes.
Because in Lent, we're preparing our hearts.
Mm-hmm.
So, I mean, the story doesn't end at Easter.
Right.
It begins.
Yeah, 100%.
And then we get to Pentecost, and I'm very excited for Pentecost, and where it's such a cool chain of events that happens, and this is where one of the things the Protestant church has really gotten lax on is looking at this Christian calendar, and then like these are the things that form our lives.
Yeah.
And we should look at them way deeper.
Yeah. Someone in our church recently asked me, like, why should we celebrate, or why should we participate in Lent? Why should we even care about this? And I was like, well, the ancient Christians did this, the very ancient Christians. And personally, even if it did get turned into 40 whole days of basically grieving and getting ready for the crucifixion, Lent is a time of self-examination.
Right.
I think that's a great idea to do that for 40 days.
Absolutely. I mean, if you're new to this whole thing, Lent is fasting.
Yeah.
You're fasting for 40 days. And it's not just about what you give up. You also add things.
Yeah.
You add new practices into your Lent season as well. And it's not a joyful season.
Right.
It's a season that you should take with deep reflection.
Mm-hmm.
It's you don't go to someone in Lent and say, well, happy Lent. Like, no, it's not happy.
Right.
This is a moment of grief. We should be grieving the condition of our hearts.
Yeah.
During Lent.
I think it goes back to kind of from Ecclesiastes, how if you are walking through you're intentionally placing yourself into a hard season, going through something really hard, man, when Easter gets here, when it's finally here and we are celebrating the reality that he is risen, it's like,
you know what I just thought about?
What?
This whole Ecclesiastes series we just did, it literally never dawned on me that we did that in the middle of Lent.
I thought you did it on purpose.
No. It was honestly, I was just praying about, I before every message, before I prepare, Lord, what do you want to say to your church? Like, that's just kind of my prayer early in the week. And I really kept coming up against Ecclesiastes, and I kept pushing back on it. I actually met with Daniel, and I was like, I think I'm going to go here, but I'm not sure if I'm going to go here. We'll see. And then we're in staff meeting that same day, and I forget what was said, but it was like that confirmation of, no, we're doing Ecclesiastes.
Yeah.
And I will tell you, as a preacher, the hardest book I've ever preached in my life.
Yeah. It destroyed me personally.
It was, I'm talking about every week of prep felt like knives in my heart.
Yeah. It's rough.
It is difficult, but it just dawned on me we did it in Lent. That was not intentional. That was more of the Lord, this is where we need to go.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean,
That's cool. That's really cool.
Just doing the study guides each week, the group discussion guides that we do for the church, caused me to meditate very, very deeply on every single, and it just messed me up. I'm going to talk about it actually the Sunday after Easter because of what the Lord just showed me through it. So
yeah, that's awesome.
But yeah, I think that this whole season is just amazing. The Christian calendar is actually amazing, and it doesn't have to be some weird ritualistic thing. It's beautiful. It has history. The people before us that we look at as heroes participated in this, Yeah. And even before Christianity, like Israel had festivals that they participated in that God used to teach his people.
Mm-hmm.
And so it's not this weird thing that God wouldn't do. It's actually a design of the Lord, you know?
Which, if you think about the Christian calendar, I think it can be broken down. It's a super basic way to break it down, but you have Lent, which is preparing.
Mm-hmm.
You have Holy Week, which is receiving with Jesus.
Yeah.
You have Pentecost, which is also, how can I phrase this the right way? It's, you have preparing, receiving, all the way into Pentecost, and then you have Advent, which is giving.
Yeah.
So it kind of has this whole flow that goes throughout the entire year.
That's great.
It's a really neat thing.
That's wonderful.
I feel like I need to work on the verbiage of that a little bit, but
I mean, that was really simple and great.
I'm going to have
honestly.
to mark that and come back and use that again sometime.
Yeah. Well, I'm super excited for next year if we're really going to do this.
Yeah, no, I've been thinking a lot about it.
So
I missed it this year. I actually just completely skipped our Lent message this year, by the way. Total accident. I literally preached the wrong message on the wrong Sunday.
Oh. Well, I mean, honestly, Ecclesiastes made up for it, though. Like, Ecclesiastes functioned as all of Lent, like what Lent is supposed to do. At least for me,
it was actually the week before. I was supposed to preach fasting or Lent, and then the missional church one that I did, and then we're going to go into Ecclesiastes.
I gotcha.
And when I got all excited and just blew them all off and just did Ecclesiastes.
Yeah. I got you.
Yeah. So anyway.
Well, I mean, I think that this Sunday is going to be amazing. I think that this is a really great setup. Everything that you said, especially the end of your message on Sunday, is a perfect setup for Easter and for what's coming. I'm super excited to hear what you're going to say. I think I kind of know some of what you're going to say. Yeah. So it's very exciting.
Yeah. It's going to be a good day. I love Easter Sunday at church.
Bro.
And there's also a lot of people who are not Christians.
Yeah.
That will come on a Sunday, and like being able to present the gospel to a room of people that don't know is one of the honors of my life.
Yeah.
That's why, I mean, every funeral, every wedding, the gospel's in there somewhere.
Yeah. 100%.
It's a huge honor to be able to do that. So knowing like, man, there's going to be people in the room that they might think they know Jesus, but we get to present a real version of Jesus and go, he's yours if you want him.
Yes. Like, this is the real him.
Yes.
You know, do you remember the quote by Spurgeon? I know that you love Spurgeon. I'm going to misquote it, but you're going to know what I'm talking about. When he says, real wisdom or something is not just knowing what's right, but knowing the difference between what is right and what's almost right.
Yes, I do. That is in...
I probably just butchered that really bad, but you get the gist.
It's the gist. Yeah, it's a difference in knowing what is right and what is almost right. Yeah.
That's the thing that I think we aim to do at the end of each message, because just like the people on Palm Sunday looking for a different kingdom and a different Jesus, it's not that they're thinking totally wrong things. He is the seed of David, the son of David. He is the king of Israel. You know, he is here to begin a new kingdom. It's just not exactly right in what they were thinking.
Yeah.
And so when you present the gospel, the real gospel and the real Jesus, that is the difference, is, you know, you're presenting the real thing, not something that's kind of like him, but the real thing. Did you just look that up?
I did. Thank you, ChatGPT. Its discernment is not knowing the difference between right and wrong. It is knowing the difference between right and almost right.
Yes.
Yeah.
That's the real. There's another quote. I don't know who said this. I'm gonna mess this up too, probably, but you're gonna get the gist of it.
I'll ChatGPT it.
Just
fine.
Like, it's easier to trick someone or to fool someone. It's easier to do that rather than to convince someone that they have been fooled.
Oh yeah.
Oh my gosh.
Is that not the American church as it is? Like, there's the Western modern Christianity as it is. Like,
yes.
Yeah, 100%.
And it's because of a lack of theology and a lack of cultural context and a lack of just being a disciple of Jesus rather than just being, you know, relying on these more mystical experiences to say, well, I know God because I experienced him while I was watching a sunset, or I experienced God and I know him because of this dream that I had, you know, all of those kind of things.
It's also Should I say that? Yeah, I'll say it. Why not? It's also when you have a bunch of CEOs parading around as pastors.
Yeah, for sure.
But that's another conversation for a different day, I guess.
Yep. I mean, honestly, it goes with Palm Sunday. Jesus is very different, and he's also, he is a priest, and he is a prophet, and he is a king. And in their minds, a priest and a prophet and a king should look really different than what Jesus presents, know, as a priest, a prophet, and a king. So
there's a whole study on that too in the Old Testament, by the way. It's really good.
Well, you'll have to tell me about it later.
All right. Do you have any book recs for this week?
I do. I was thinking about this beforehand.
Good, because I do not.
So I've talked about this before on the podcast. I almost want to start a book club with all my friends and meet like once a week or something and read a book together each week. I might do that because I have a couple friends that might want to do that with me. Yeah. But there's a book called The Lost Letters of Pergamum.
Oh, yeah.
I told you about this book like a million times. It is a fictional book. I just want to say that. It is a fake story. However, a Bible scholar wrote it. Oh, my gosh. Is his name Bruce Longnecker? I think. You might want to chat GPT that real quick. It's called The Lost Letters of Pergamum, is what I do know for sure. And what happens in this book is it is a fake story, a fictional story of this guy, this Roman citizen, a wealthy Roman citizen, who he meets Luke.
You had the name right.
Really?
Mm-hmm.
Praise. So he meets a Roman citizen, and Luke and this Roman citizen start writing letters back and forth because he introduces him to Jesus. And what's cool about the book is this Bible scholar, I think one of the reasons that he wrote this was to introduce Christians to the first century. So there's gladiatorial games in it. There is temple worship in it. There is the cult of Caesar is in it. You know, how they have to pay things to Caesar or whatever.
So he uses actual like cultural details.
I'm pretty sure he used real documented games that actually took place.
Wow.
Under the Emperor Domitian.
Okay.
And it's just so fascinating because it shows you the context of the first century. He even shows how different types of Christian house churches. One of the house churches that this man visits, they're worshiping Jesus alongside of other Roman gods and goddesses, which definitely happened during that time period as Christianity was beginning. People didn't understand because they're, polytheists. So they're worshiping all these other gods. Oh, I can worship Jesus too. Yeah. So they didn't understand. So it's just it's a realistic look at the culture and the history of the first century and what it was like when Christianity was first really spreading and the oppression of the Romans was still happening. So yeah, that's my book rec. It's fascinating. I need to read that book every year because it sent me off on so many different rabbit trails of study.
Yeah. There's another book. I don't know that I recommend everybody read it. It's a bite. You would like it. Have you read Alistair McGrath's Christian Theology?
Nope.
It's one I'm reading for my degree I'm working on right now. That is like, it's giant. You would love it, actually. I don't agree with all of it.
Yeah.
But I guess that's kind of the point, right? But one of the things he says in this book that I really like is theology is not subjective. So he talks about how one of the main issues that we have in the church is that we have taken the scriptures and we've personally, we've pulled personal revelation out of scripture and made that our doctrine.
Yes.
And that's not what we do. How in order to understand theology, we have to look at history. We look at the first century. We look at what actually happened. So we start at the scriptures, and then we go from the scriptures into what did the early church do, and then we go from there into reason, and then we land at our theology. And it's a really, really, really good book for that kind of thing. But it's a chunk. I've been working on it for like a week and a half.
Oh wow,
it's a big one. But if you are nerdy and you do want to get into something, that's one I would say.
That's fascinating.
It helps you learn how to study theology.
Yeah.
I think is kind of the cool thing about it. Again, don't agree with everything he says, but that's most things.
Yeah, so. That's all things, I think.
Yeah, just stay away from Wayne Grudem's because that one's horrible.
I have that one.
Do you?
Yes, I do.
Don't read that book.
I read part of it, and I was like, well, I don't agree, but
yeah, well,
I still respect it. I just disagree.
Yeah. Well, part of this class, I have to actually read this book and then go back to Wayne Grudem's and compare and contrast.
Oh, good. Have fun with that, brother. Have fun with that.
So, anyway. All right. That's it. Thanks for tuning in. And you will listen to us next week.
Indeed. Wait, no. Are we doing next week's podcast?
Oh, we will not. Thank you. No podcast next week. It is Masters Week here in Augusta.
Yes.
So yeah, no podcast next week for Easter. But we'll jump back on week after.
Yep.
All right.